From Tiger King, any trade value for Gardner Minshew? Good question. I would say as a day 3 pick, you could probably get. Now, maybe you want to keep him to be your backup quarterback, but I don't think a team's going to view him as their answer as a starter. But if you want a better, cheap backup, I think there are plenty of teams that would have interest. If you're trying to draft somebody because you got an older quarterback, like for example, if the Falcons don't go with a quarterback in the draft early, I'd rather trade for Gardner Minshew to be my backup. That makes sense. So, yeah, there's trade value. It's not going to be a premium pick. From Not Paradox, what do the Packers do with their running back situation? Do they give Aaron Jones money or let him go with such a A.J. Dillon and Jamal Williams? Well, Jamal's also a free agent. If I were Green Bay, I would let Aaron Jones walk. And I would, find a way to pay somebody else or just draft somebody else again and roll with a cheaper, younger option in the end. I'm very curious to see which route they go. I would probably let Aaron Jones walk. I think that was their plan when they drafted A.J. Dillon as well. From Trapecio Tendencies, I don't know if I said that right. Orlando Brown for pick number 25. So that's the Jags' first-round pick. I like it. I think that makes a lot of sense for both parties. If the Ravens have to trade Orlando Brown because he wants out, I think teams like the Chiefs at 31, the Jags at 25, the Steelers at 24, the Colts at 21, hell, even Washington or Chicago at 19 or 20 makes sense. Those teams could take a tackle in round 1. Why not take someone you already know is a very good starting NFL caliber tackle? From Jason, if you're Tom Telesco, Chargers GM, you can choose between one person to sign for the Chargers between Lavonte David and Leonard Floyd. Who do you choose? Probably go with Leonard Floyd since I just hired the Rams defensive coordinator. I like Lavonte David more, but if you're going to replace Melvin Ingram, I think Floyd actually fits that role pretty decently. I'm very curious to see which route they end up going there. You have Kenneth Murray. I might go cheaper at linebacker. From my burner account, allegedly, with the reduction in the 2021 salary cap, not yet official, by the way, which positional group will have the hardest time securing a long-term deal? Yes is my first question there, or my first answer. I think at some level all of them will be impacted. Not quarterback. They're going to pay quarterbacks, guys. I think it becomes even a more steep of the haves and have-nots. So I think running backs in particular, they're going to get squeezed. I think you'll see plenty of one-year deals as teams and players try to cash in on a rising salary cap as we move forward. From Gang Time, Devonta Smith should be the first pick like Chase Young should have been. Wrong on both accounts, frankly. In hindsight, it should have been Justin Herbert because he's a franchise quarterback. Positional value matters, guys. Chase Young was the best player in last year's draft class at the time. He was number 1 on pretty much all boards. But you go quarterback because you need a quarterback. The Bengals could have taken Chase Young, and guess what? They'd still be searching for the most important position in the NFL. I like Devonta Smith a lot. Frankly, he is closer to being wide receiver 3 than he is to being the number 1 guy, at least on the average NFL draft where out there. There's a lot of different opinions there. I like Smith plenty. Don't get me wrong. He's a top 3 receiver, probably top 10 pick. But he should not be the number 1 overall pick this year. So now you guys can be a hater like I kind of sort of just was. What NFL team do you guys hate the most? What team do you just love to hate and throw shade at? This question is the pinned comment on today's video. Let me know in the comments what team you hate the most. From Liam Hammond, where does Will Fuller go? I'm going to go with number 1. Houston is still the favorite. If he leaves, the Green Bay Packers had a lot of interest in him. They can restructure some deals, and maybe he ends up in Green Bay. So that'll be my second guess as before. But in the end, I think Houston just hits him with the franchise tag and does not let him leave. Bernil Jacobs, is Desmond King a good fit to replace K'Wan Williams? Excuse me. I'd probably just keep K'Wan, but if you do move on from him, I think Desmond King makes some sense. Not as good as we have thought, but he's still a good caliber starting nickel corner. From Not Webb's World 1, I want the Steelers to draft Liam over a back in the first round. That is Liam Eichenberg in the first round. And then Aaron Brooks, by the way, wants to know, perfect Steelers mock draft. Well, I don't have time to do all 7 rounds here. Assuming the quarterback position is figured out, can I go take a tackle in round 1? I would like Samuel Cosmi if he's there out of Texas. After that, I probably got to look at cornerback. I don't know, Ifeatu Melifonwu there at the back end of round 2 is one of the Georgia kids, Tyson Campbell, Eric Stokes there. Actually, Landon Dickerson in round 2. We'll go that right there. Give me Michael Carter out of UNC in round 3, and we'll call it that. We will call it Samuel Cosmi, Landon Dickerson, and Michael Carter, the back in round 3. From Felix Allison, should the Broncos go after a cornerback like Richard Sherman? Sure. They already cut A.J. Boye. You have enough at some of the other key spots there at cornerback where you can get by with Bryce Callahan and Michael Ujamudia. Mudia, I botched it. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about there. Those 2 guys are 2 starters, and I think you could play Bryce Callahan on the slot if you wanted to. So if you want to bring in Sherman as a vet to be your other outside corner, kick Callahan inside, that takes care of it, at least in the short term. Long term, probably still got to draft somebody, be it in day 2 or day 3, but I do think Sherman makes some sense for a lot of NFL teams if they're trying to win now. I wonder if Sherman, though, wants to actually go to Denver. I'm not sure that's the case. From Reverse Flash, who do the Bengals draft if Sewell isn't there? Is it Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts? I'd say take your pick. I am intrigued by the idea of reuniting Jamar Chase with his old college quarterback, same way I am with Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle going to Tua and Miami. So I think from a fit perspective, even though I love Kyle Pitts, I like Jamar Chase if Penei Sewell is off the board. From Vortex Z's, where and what round will Amari Rodgers go, the wide receiver from Clemson? I mean, take your pick in terms of where. That's pretty impossible to guess. I think he's off the board maybe back end of round 2. Probably more likely he goes in round 3, worst case round 4. I like him. There are a lot of good guys who fit that slot receiver mold, and Rodgers is definitely one of them. If you guys want to be part of these live mailbags, you got to be subscribed. That's the only way to get on the show. So if you haven't already, to the 700 people watching live right now, hit that big red button and subscribe. It is youtube.com/chatsportstv if you're watching on Facebook. But if you're not, just subscribe. Hit that big red button and don't miss any of the videos we do for you guys here at Chat Sports. From Cheater, Unpopular Opinion, the Chiefs missed the playoffs by 1 game in 2020. That is unpopular, and I respect your decision to say it out loud. I will disagree, though. If Mahomes is healthy, I'm going to bet on KC to make the playoffs every single year, especially with the playoffs having expanded already. TKG, when do we sign Dak? It's stressing me out, and how much? Hopefully anytime now. We'll see. As for how much, probably around $40 million per year. From Peter, Packers trade for OBJ or sign Kenny Golladay or Chris Godwin or Allen Robinson, or draft Rondale Moore or Bateman, or go for Corey Davis. You've got all the options covered. As for which one I like the most, if you can get an OBJ, do that, but probably not, right? I think a Rondale Moore type player in that Packers offense, I think that'd be really fun if you're Green Bay. From Adam, could the Ravens get at least a first and a third for Orlando Brown? I don't know about the third. The first, as previously mentioned, I agree with. There are too many tackle-needy teams in the back end of round 1 to not get at least a first-round pick. As for that third-round pick, all depends on how the bidding war goes. If you get a bidding war, you get more value for your player. If you don't, you try to leak stuff about how there's a value for your player, and then you settle for less than what the leak said because you were wrong about that in Philadelphia. NFL jerseys are on sale at chatsports.com/jersey deal. Chatsports.com/jersey NFL.com/jersey deal. Under $80, a whole bunch of different NFL teams and players, different styles, different colors. I love this Falcons older jersey. The all red one. I think it looks great. It's available at chatsports.com/jersey. They've got some, I guess, still technically rookies, now second-year players, at least very soon once draft picks happen. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. They're all under $80 at that link. Some of them even further discounted. We'll put the link in the comments and in the description. So all you guys got to do is click and go shop. From Pedro Clayton, should Miami spend big on the O-line in NFL free agency? I'm open to it. I think center makes some sense with Ted Karras being a free agent. You could go throw money at a Corey Linsley. Austin Ryder is most center, but play kind of everywhere. So you want to throw money at a top-tier center? Go get Corey Linsley. You don't trust some combination of Austin Jackson or Robert Hunt, or when we move on from Eric Flowers at some point? You could go with a right tackle and Taylor Motton. That probably carries extra value because he's your blind side. Could kick Robert Hunt to guard then. If you want to get the best offensive lineman, I don't think Trent Williams comes to Miami, but Brandon Schreff, Joe Tooney, want to get a guard? I'm open to that idea if you're Miami. They don't have unlimited money, but they still got plenty to spend in free agency. Speaking of, who do you want your team to add in NFL free agency? Name a player. Any player you guys want. Who do you want to add in free agency this offseason? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. From Bear Fan 101, hi back. Could the Bears trade up with the Falcons for Zach Wilson? If he falls past the Jets at 2, you probably got to get to 3 or 4. The problem for Chicago is moving from 20 to 3 or 4 is crazy expensive. Like, even if you tagged and trade A-Rob for a first-round pick, like, you're still giving up this year's draft class and next year's draft class and probably another premium pick. And at that point, I'd probably just go all in for Deshaun Watson, but if you can't make it happen, you have to explore it. Also, do you trust Ryan Pace to take the right quarterback? I kind of don't. Billy Mahoney, who will be the next Patriots quarterback 1? I don't know. I think they might kind of kick the can down the road again for a year and not invest significantly in any one particular player at that position. As for receiver from Zach Jackson, I would love it if Jalen Waddle fell to number 15. Not sure he's going to. They got plenty of cap space. If one of the Godwins or Gallaudays or Robinson hit free agency, I'd throw money their way. Corey Davis, you want to sign somebody? If not, you want to take a Kadarius Toney, you want to wait till round 2, go with like a Rondell Moore? That could make some sense. Matthew, who do the Bills take in round 1? Good question. I would consider an interior offensive lineman and maybe even a new right tackle. Daryl Williams is a free agent. Do you kind of interest you in a Tevin Jenkins from Oklahoma State? Linebackers in need. Nick Bolton out of Missouri. I wouldn't mind a guard. I don't think Elijah Vera Tucker's there, so Wyatt Davis, probably not. Do you want to throw a running back pick in there? Najee Harris? I don't. Just some options, though. From Kerry Foster, which quarterback is the best fit for the Falcons? Good question. So right now, my top 4 quarterbacks go Trevor Lawrence, then Justin Fields, then Zach Wilson, and then Trey Lance. But you mentioned fit, and that's important. And the fit that intrigues me the most, actually Trey Lance. Now, there's a lot of risks there. Don't get me wrong. There's some major issues of the level of competition, the accuracy, not playing for almost a full year. But if you're going to keep Matt Ryan for a season, and the quarterback that I think will benefit the most from sitting a year is Trey Lance. And I think for a play-action heavy offense, I think is what Arthur Smith is going to do in Atlanta, Trey Lance did that to perfection at North Dakota State. So I am very intrigued by that one. That's the one that I would go with. Now, not the best quarterback for me, but fit-wise, I like it a lot. So pick one for me then. Which would you rather have? Type JF for Justin Fields, or type in TL for Trey Lance, or type in ZW for Zach Wilson. All 3 are great. I like each and every one of them. Who would you pick? JFTL or ZW? From Ghostly Chino, which teams could trade back into the draft? If so, which teams? I mean, yeah, there will be trade downs. Miami makes some sense if they keep that number 3 overall pick. The Jets could try and trade down. I think teams like the Lions, the Cowboys, the Broncos also all make varying sense as trade down. Teams that aren't going to go quarterback in round 1 could trade down in the top 10. From Steven, best options for Miami in free agency. You know, we mentioned Corey Lindsey. I like that one. Go look at receiver. I like the idea of a T.Y. Hilton. I would love Curtis Samuel on this team. I think offense is kind of where you focus more on after going pretty heavy defense last year. Charles John, who can replace Richard Sherman for the 49ers? I would go draft. At number 12, assuming you're taking care of your quarterback stuff, or you're going to roll with Jimmy G, you should have one of Patrick Surtain from Alabama, Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech, or J.C. Horn from South Carolina. From Moonfake, Tom, why get mad at the Cowboys linebackers when all you say is get defensive tackle and have the biggest impact on linebacker play? It's not just you get better defensive tackles, your linebackers become great. It's both connect each other. Yes, adding defensive tackle help will make your linebackers better, but we also, I think, should know your linebackers aren't quite what you want them to be relative to what you spent on them in a contract or via a draft pick. Burning Spades, thoughts. Atlanta trades down to the 15th to 25th pick, draft a cornerback or back in the late first, draft a quarterback in second or third round, add offensive line in free agency. I like the trade down. I need to get a cornerback and or back, and O-line in free agency. That's fine. I don't like the idea of going quarterback in the second or third round, because at that point you're taking a Kyle Trask, a Davis Mills, a Jamie Newman, a Kellen Mond. Like, I don't think those guys are good. So I like the idea of going after and moving down if you're not going to go quarterback in round 1. But if I'm not going to go quarterback in round 1, I'm not going to spend a premium pick at all on the spot. I will take someone day 3 if I want, but not a premium spot because I don't think the depth is there in this year's class.